more 90-day planning workshop lessons. I promise you're not sick of them yet, because this is also going to be a good one. So one of the exercises I ask, obviously, people to then go, well, here, think of all the tasks you need to do and plot them over a 90-day kind of calendar. But to do that really effectively, you have to kind of do a guesstimate or an estimate of how long each of those tasks are going to take to complete. Now, the big lesson that I want everyone to understand is that the first time you do a guesstimate or an estimate, you will be way off. And Adam was great in the session talking about he's overly optimistic when he does his estimates, and he just, because he's an optimistic kind of guy and has, you know, in the past been able to fit so much stuff in. And so he's learned that now he kind of doubles his estimates. So he goes, I think it's going to take me a day. All right, I'm going to give it 2 days because I'm overly optimistic. So I think that's a really important lesson when you're starting to estimate, because it's an important technique to use to get your plans, to have great plans. But in the beginning, it's a learning exercise, and so you won't always get it right. It's okay. And doubling it is a great way to kind of give yourself a bit of a buffer when you're learning. But estimating how long you think things are going to take you is an excellent practice to get into, because eventually you'll use that every single day. I use that every day so I can make sure I am being realistic every day in what I do. And so don't be afraid by getting the estimates wrong, but you should do estimates on those tasks to make sure that you're really kind of planning them realistically. So for example, one of the examples I used in the session was if you were writing a book and you estimated your first crack at a chapter might be 3 hours. And then on the day that you're doing that, you've then gone and said, well, I'm also then going to run a workshop for 5 hours as well as do 3 hours on a chapter. And so when you start looking at that, you start going, okay, maybe that day doesn't work. So you can reshuffle things, right? But if you hadn't done the estimates, then you might have bunched those things all on the same day, set yourself up for a little bit of disappointment on that day. So using estimates is a really great way to get your planning more realistic and accurate. But also in the beginning, because it takes a bit of practice, you won't always get it right. But as you practice, you'll get closer, promise you. And yes, I still get overly optimistic myself and go, oh, well, I thought that would be 15 minutes and it was 4 hours, because sometimes I just don't know. I've never done it before. And that's okay. And then we just shuffle the stuff around and we fix it and do it another time.